As we mentioned earlier, one of our news items, the Alas Pilipinas men's team have had a very busy schedule of their own, like the women's, but both on and off the court in New York City.
How have these past few days been for the national men's volleyball team? Joining us once again is one sports correspondent, Carlo Pamintuan. He is reporting to us live from New York. Carlo?
Hi, Cheska. It has been very busy, but a lot of fun for our Alas Pilipinas men's squad here in New York City. It all started when they visited the Consul General in the Philippine Consulate here in New York. It was an amazing experience for the entire squad, just to see the consul, see the people there, making sure that all of our immigrants, all of our OFWs are in a good position here in New York City. It was also very tearful because a couple of our members of the squad, and Coach Tom, one of our assistants, and JP Bugawan got to reunite with their moms. Coach Tom hasn't seen his mom in 3 years, while JP Bugawan waited 9 long years to be able to have this reunion with his mom. So everything that happened was tearful for New York. Another thing that happened right after that was there was a tryout for members of the squad who will be competing in a tune-up match against Alas Pilipinas from Fil-Am Nation. We had a tryout, of course, led by our coaches to see who will be included in the team that will test out our squad in their lone practice game here in New York City. The day after, we had a training camp. We had a clinic for a bunch of kids, a bunch of Filipino kids here in New York, and I'm sure it was an amazing experience coming from them because you get to train alongside Brian Bagunas and Mark Espejo and Jao Mandal and Owa Retamar. They enjoyed, they had fun, and after that they were treated to an amazing match between Fil-Am Nation and our Alas Pilipinas squad. At first, the national team was a bit tentative because they did not know how good the other players will compete, how well that the other team has prepared. But when they saw that they want to make a name for themselves, I think some of them want consideration to be recruited, maybe for colleges or club teams in the Philippines, maybe even consideration for the national team. That's why they gave it their all. And after that, the competition just grew and we were treated to an amazing match. That was, of course, won by our Alas Pilipinas men's squad, but they had to get it. They had to really fight for it against the selection that competed against them here in New York.
Carl, kamustahin din natin. I remember your conversation with Pauline on the big story on Friday na nandun din for the nandyan yung Philippine team for the Philippine Independence Day Parade. Tell us more about the event, Carl.
Yes, that actually happened yesterday.
Yeah.
There were, I think, more than 100 groups that were going to parade through Madison Avenue here in New York, and Alas Pilipinas was one of the very last. No, nandun kami dun sa pinakadulo nung parada. There was a fun moment where one of the guests here, si Martin Rivera, actually joined our float. No, sumama sa amin, tapos yung buong team, yung ibang coaching staff, so kumanta pa ng Be My Lady kasabay ni Martin Rivera. It was an amazing, surreal experience because you get to see all the people from New York, all the Filipinos here, and from neighboring cities. New Jersey, syempre marami ring nanggaling. They were all there lining up the streets to show love to not just Alas Pilipinas, of course, but to the Filipino culture dito sa New York City. The parade was emotional in a sense because you get to see all of the older Filipinos here, di ba? Yun yung pagbibigay ng respeto. Actually, I had a conversation with a local, with a New Yorker. Sabi niya, why Filipinos seem to be so parang respectful to their grandparents and whatnot, because she saw a lot of them wearing full attire, di ba? Bihis na bihis, sobrang naka-makeup pa, tapos pumaparada. Sabi niya, other people might just leave them alone or in homes, pero sa atin hindi. We celebrate our elders, we celebrate our culture, and it was I think one experience that will be memorable for all the players involved because all the players, aside from the Americans, this is their first time to visit the United States, and to be included in that parade, to be celebrated like that, and to actually get an opportunity to ask for support from the Filipino community, maybe convince some of them to fly home this September and watch our men's team perform. Napakalaking bagay yun, di ba? Just to establish that connection between our volleyball team and the fan base here in New York.
Carl, as always, thank you for your time. I know it's pretty cold there, roughly 16 degrees. Stay safe, and we'll check back on you in the next few days. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Carlo.
One sports correspondent, Carlo Pamintuan, joining us live all the way from New York City.